Turn on the box.
I like your style. Too bad you're not a singer.
It is aftermath. The gourds are frightened. Oh yes, yes indeed, that they are. For it is gourd murdering season at the beginning of aftermath the season. Hey, you know, I lost that a long way ago. Welcome in, brethren, sisterin, and those who don't like to be pigeonholed. All of you freaks, geeks, and each and every one of you utterly unique. And we are here. It is the aftermath. We survived bureaucracy, everyone, and we're a good 6 days deep into the aftermath. And of course, what that means is that it's the first Friday of aftermath. And how do we start the first Friday of aftermath? We read the disclaimer. All acts of Discordianism portrayed herein are for spiritual entertainment purposes only. No spiritual enlightenment or transcendent experience is offered or implied. Leaps of faith and logical backflips are performed by trained sophists. Do not attempt to recreate at home. Any resemblance to other religions, alive, dead, or merely untenable is entirely coincidental. Hail Eris and immanentize the eschaton are brands of the Discordian Society. All associated intellectual property rights are probably also wrongs, just the way they are these days. Fnord. Yes, indeed. And I've remembered not to go full screen. At last, one day we'll make it. One day we'll look professional. So yes, the order of service tonight, same as always. It is, of course, your little cradle of familiarity. little cradle here that will soothe you and get you through. So we're going to start, of course, with Deep Thoughts, Spooky Month Deep Thoughts, and beginning of Aftermath Deep Thoughts. I'm not sure they're that deep this week, but we do what we can. We have this week's Face of Eris. Following that, our reflective tarot pick, and I discovered a revolutionary thing today. I discovered it. It's mine to discover. Oh yeah, of course, and we will of course be doing 23. So that is coming. I should really move the 23 is coming from this scene. In fact, I can do it live on air. I will just take that and move it. There we go on this screen. If it's up there, that's perfect. Perfect. Look, see, now you can see the chat preview and you can see that 23 is coming. So yes, 23 is coming. We're counting down. And I discovered you could pre-shuffle tarot cards. You could do it because every week I've been like, let's do the tarot cards, get the tarot cards out, shuffle them on here, leaning over here, leaning over there, picking one out. I do still have to pick one out, but it's fine. It's fine. That bit's okay. It's the bit where I initially shuffle them. That was the awkward bit. So we got reflective tarot. Kandar, of course, which who knows? One day we'll actually have a chatting at the time where Kandar happens, but it hasn't happened so far. Usually the chatting comes in somewhere else in the service, which of course is also perfectly acceptable. But there we are. And finally, we'll be finishing with, of course, the weekly sacrament. I have my sacraments here. You can have whatever you want, but we can all stick apart together and joyously consume our sacrament at the close of the service. Hail Eris. Marvellous. So, yes, and so we've been through the order of service now. And, of course, for those of you that may not know, we broadcast this live, 7 p.m. UK time on a Friday, which is interesting because we have daylight savings. They come in over this weekend. The government has deemed that we shall stuff an hour in where it doesn't belong. And so next week, 7 p.m. here will be, well, it'll have changed position by 1 hour. It'll be 1 hour further forward. Well, we'll put an extra hour in. So, yeah. So, there we are. So, 7 p.m. But it'll stick to being at 7 p.m. UK time. It'll just be 7 p.m. will be later than it has been up to now. But this is the burden of Aftermath, of course. So we're sticking 7 p.m. And then after the service has finished, it will be transmitted over the interwebs to YouTube, where you of course can get your little slice of Friday and come here and enjoy that slice of Friday for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes, depending how much waffle there is, depending how much chat there is. I mean, one day if there's a big chat going on, it could go on for ages, but you of course can just see that and play it back. And we will of course stick to the weekly sacrament being around about 50 minutes to an hour into the service, so you could just move the little slider along. Please don't do that. And if you are consuming your service via the YouTubes, then it would help me enormously if you could subscribe, comment, all of that. Comments have been coming in a steady trickle, and everybody is I'm feeling of use. Let's put it that way. The comments that have come in said, how you bring, I mean, not exactly in these words, but how you enlighten us with the, bring to the light of Discordianism into my humble home every single week, which is, of course, the aim of the service, as it were. And going to the live service is, of course, a privilege that is reserved for those people who can be here at 7 p.m. UK time. I may shift it about. As time goes on, I might find better times to do it, but right now it's 7 p.m. on a Friday night, and that's where we are. Okay, so moving on. We are, of course, headed for the land of deep thoughts, and the deep thinker this week, he is regarde le dice. No, I don't know what dice is in French. Of course I don't. But I see he is regarder le something that means dice in French. He is well, he's not regarding them because of course these are thought dice. They're dice he is thinking deeply about. Yeah, and he's just considering those dice. But why? Why is he considering the dice? Well, that is of course what we shall find out during deep thoughts. So here we are. They're deep and they're thoughts, and here they come. Okay, so as we will remember, of course, as I bang on about it just about every week, but just in case you're new at this part, you can find the Discordian calendar, Ready Reckoner, on page 34 of the Principia. Sorry, opposite that chap. I'm going the wrong way. There we go. There's the Ready Reckoner, and it has a Ready Reckoner for the days. That is quite useful because it helps us know when the seasons are rolling over. Tells us what the seasons were. It even has patron apostles, days of the week which we ignore because there are no Fridays, which is an error that tells us that we're not supposed to really stick slavishly to this, because if we did stick slavishly to it, we would never have Friday, so we would never eat a sacrament, so we would be bad, naughty, wicked Discordians because we're ignoring the Friday. And I believe that the Friday sacrament part of this, I have a dog trying to muscle his way past my legs for no particularly good reason. There you are, you useless dog. Go on, just you sit down there. You've knocked over a laptop that I had down here for spurious reasons, so now I'm going to have to pick that up. There we go. Right. So we've got days of the week. We've got apostle holy days, season holy days. They're quite consistent. It tells you a lot of stuff, and most of it is not useful and ill thought through. That's Discordianism for you. A lot of it is not useful and has been ill thought through. Welcome to your religion, everybody. It's mostly not useful and ill thought through, which is kind of the reason we need the deep thoughts. So yeah, the Principia Disco holy days are arbitrary and pointless, but having holy days unique to a religion in a season helps you to integrate with the Discordian worldview. It does. Shut up. I'm telling you this now. It's definitely true. And once you finish this deep thought section, you will of necessity agree with me on this. Chaos needs a say in how we attribute our holy days. And we're going to do it here for the e-chapel of the South Wales Discordian Press, a press that proudly supports the endeavours of Discordian authors to publish their works, but we have not actually published any works so far, really, because print is dead. So, you can write a book, but nobody's going to read it. That's the way it is. So why should we waste our time publishing that book? Nevertheless, this is the SWDP, South Wales Discordian Press, e-chapel. And so we are going to have this is the e-chapel's house rules for how to do a holy day in the season, the Discordian season where you find yourself right now. Okay. So yes, here we go. Now it has to be said, you can see here that we have 6 options for the main role for Aftermath 24. Now, the first one has already passed. If we'd have rolled a 1, I'd have had to call an emergency session. I was going to do it and will do it in future, in the first day of the season service. But, sorry, it sounds like construction is happening. Son, could you keep it down? It's very loud. If I'd have rolled a 1 when I did this roll, which I did after the service, commencement of service. Oh, there we go. Gatsby, out you go. The dog now wants to muscle out. Yes, I would have done it in the service, but I forgot to put a slide in, and then I got a bit hurried. We'll talk about that more in a bit. But essentially, I didn't do it in the service. But I had to roll it right away, because if I'd have rolled a 1, then I'd have sort of thought, well, it's now next Thursday, which is yesterday. So I'd have had to make some emergency arrangements. But thankfully, Eris be praised, I rolled a 4. So as you can see there, we've got a 4 on the screen. So that's kind of spoilers. If you were hoping for some suspense there, you'll be sadly sad to know that it was a 4 that I rolled, which means that the 32nd day of Aftermath is this season's holy day, and that will fall on November 20th. So November 20th, that's the day. Mark it in your regular Gregorian calendar and you will know that's the 32nd day of Aftermath 2024 and is therefore the holy day. And at the bottom there I've put a little note. Actually, if I'd rolled a 1, it would equal 55, not 5. But why? Why, Eno? You've got this perfectly sensible thing here where you've got, 05, 14, 23, 32, 41, 50. It's palindromic. It's beautiful. It is a symphony of mathematics. Why ruin the roll of 1? Well, if we move on to the next slide, we'll see here. We're going to do 4 more rolls. Okay? And in these rolls, we're going to be looking for the 5s. Yeah? And these 4 rolls are we going to have cards for this season's holy day? Yeah. Now, if I roll a 5 this season, then we will be having to do cards, okay, for this season's holy day. And then we could come round to Aftermath next year and I roll a 3, no cards. Yeah. So whether you do any of these things, and these are things I've just sort of plucked at random, things people do during holidays, the rest of the holidays. Now, of course, the rest of the world has its holidays, really buttoned down. Halloween, pumpkins, in America, trick-or-treating, not so much in the UK, but dressing up, certainly, spooky movies. It's the spoopy holiday that everybody loves. Yeah. So then you've got Christmas, which is Christmas trees, Christmas gifts, loving and sharing kindness to all men, Christmas Carol, all of that stuff. February, cards. February 14th, cards, hearts. Next year, Assassin's Creed releases. Love it. And there we go. So and Easter eggs, of course, chocolate eggs. Yeah. So we've got it pretty much buttoned down with the sort of state authorized ones. And indeed, other religions have many of them have holy days. Some of them, don't so much. Maybe there are Buddhist holy days. I'm not sure what they are. And I went to Buddhist meditation for many years, and nobody ever mentioned specific days on the Gregorian calendar, which you can imagine might be the thing. So, but here at the Church of Discordia, here at the South Wales Discordian Press e-chapel, we acknowledge that really all this is sort of, people wanted to sort out a few dates on the calendar and do some stuff on those days, and that's the whole top and bottom of it, really. So we're kind of taking the same approach, but we're allowing the goddess to tell us through the medium of dice rolls which day is the day. And we're also going to employ a randomizer in a minute for a very important key part of the holiday that you will see, and what kind of things we should be expected to do. Yeah. So we've got cards, we've got gifts. Now, you don't have to go full Christmas on the gifts if gifts are called for. It's an opportunity to take a sort of spiritual approach, a small on-theme gift. We'll come to the themes in a short while. Do not worry. And special food, that's sort of your equivalent of your turkey when you have a turkey day, holiday. You see, Americans, they have Thanksgiving. You guys have Thanksgiving. We have our turkey day on Christmas. And in fact, there have been several efforts over the years to make Easter also a turkey day. They haven't really ever caught, but I've had turkey at Easter. It works very well. So, there we go. It's just a suggestion. It's an option. In fact, special food isn't even required at Easter except for the chocolate eggs, of course. But are they gifts or are they cakes? Yeah, like have a special cake. Because we have a Christmas. There is such a thing as a Christmas cake. But most people hate Christmas cake. So, not a lot of people do it. Easter cake, not necessary. You've got chocolate eggs everywhere. But birthday cake, that's a thing. In fact, I'm beginning to come round to the opinion that there aren't nearly enough cakes in the ordinary holidays. So yeah, so that's it. We in this household, we like to watch Eurovision. That is a holiday of our own devising when Eurovision comes round, and we like to eat cake on that day and special food, and that is a completely personal thing. And many people do, in fact. I mean, that's what you call when you have special food in a cake, and it's not a holiday of any particular stripe. You call that a party. So we have a little party, and this indeed is an excuse for a Discordian party, as if Discordians need an excuse to party. Now, I have put my dice up high and didn't, in fact, prepare for this. I am an ill-prepared pastor. Well, not that ill-prepared. I mean, the dice are here. I've got them in a box. This isn't the dice. This is just a box that is like a dice. Okay, so I'm just wondering on the slides. Ah, yeah, there we go. Right, yes, that's going to be the next. So we're going to do this now. We'll get an actual dice out of the dice box. Diceception. Oh, come on. There we go. I got a dice. There's the There's the box, and there's the dice out of the box. Okay, so we'll put the dice box to one side for now. I have plenty of space to roll where my mouse usually goes. Okay, so roll 1. Are we looking for a 5? Will we have to exchange cards on this holy day? 6. No, we don't. Will we look to exchange some kind of gift with our loved ones, or to give gifts, or will gifts be part of the equation on this Aftermath 24 holy day? 6 again. I'm wondering if this dice is weighted. If I get 6 all the way down, might have to go and find a dice that's less. This seems to be quite a decorative dice. We'll see. Okay, so special food. Special food. This is one of the ones I've got my fingers crossed for. Oh, it fell off the table. Let's do it again. Oh, wow, it keeps falling off the table. But it landed on the floor. And I swear, it landed with your 5 face up to centre. So this holy day, special food. What special food? Well, I'll say what we're doing here for that November 20th special day. And you could do what you like, but you could also follow me. So in the preparations for this holy day, there will be special food involved. Will there be a cake? Well, to be fair, my other half has just had her birthday, so I'm agnostic on the choice of cake in this holiday, and it's nearly Christmas. It's a 2. So apparently this holy day at this time will be a feast, a saint's feast. Because holy day needs a saint, doesn't it? There we go. Have I done that right? I haven't done that right, have I? You see, if you put the lid on the wrong way, then the dice spots are not correct. Oh, that's weird. Which way is correct? Well, that can't be right. So this must be right. Yeah, there we go. I got the dice. So if you put them on the wrong way, you see the 2 spots there, and then 2 spots there, and then 1 spot. Yeah, you get it. You're not interested. What's really disappointing is, in fact, the 1 spot. It's just that at the bottom. I think they could have. I mean, I know they put little rubber feet on it, but we could have had a 1, couldn't we, guys? That would have been all right. I don't know. Okay, so we're having special food. So that's the next thing that we found out. Maybe I've done these in the wrong order. It was just the order in which I thought of it. So the bonus roll here for Aftermath 24 was a question of which saint are we celebrating, and for that we are going to need a bigger wheel. I have prepared, here's one I prepared earlier. So we're going to put that there, and we're going to roll it over here. And I'm going to hit F11. Come on, we're in here. No, don't do anything, just... Oh, there we go, we're up. Why is it that this is... no, I just want to... no. Cancelled. This is very awkward. Hide that the input section. There we go. Right. So here we have a wheel, and it has an advert at the bottom because I'm not paying for this. Good Lord. Gosh, no. I wonder if I can just, there's a little X here. Can I just get rid of it? Oh, I can just get rid of it. There we go. There we go. And now the adverts are popping up in the corner. Oh, welcome to the internet, the home of advertisements, wherever you are. We got 4-minute warning for 23 coming. We're doing very well, in fact, so we should be able to get that. I'm going to get my scoots on so that we can celebrate 23 when it comes around. So we've got 10 saints up here. You will note that the saints are completely made up. Yeah, but they all also have a title, and the titles are consistent. They are Chaotician, Memelord, Illusioneer, Enjoyer, and Vibrider. And whichever one we pick, I probably should go into what the different types are more detail, maybe next week. Okay, but we need to just know what is going on this time right now, and we have 3 minutes 15 before 23 comes in and tells us that we have to do 23 for at least a minute. So let us spin beforehand and see what comes up. So here we go. We're going to spin and find which saint is going to be the lucky winner of being the saint of the Saints' Day in Aftermath 2024. Your Aftermath 2024 saint is Saint Plup the Memelord. Let's immanentize the eschaton with Saint Plup the Memelord. So there we go. That is us. So the 20th of November, 2024, in the season of confusion, we celebrate the great works of the entirely imaginary Saint Plup the Memelord. It is coming. Okay, so 23, still 2 minutes to go to 23. Okay, so let's see if in 2 minutes I can run through the whole what was going on there then for those people who are sadly confused, and who blames you for that? Nobody. Okay, so the idea is that we have I was trying to work out 5 virtues of Discordianism. We don't talk in Discordianism about virtue and sin very much, because they are united to the concepts of good and evil and chaos. Chaos ultimately trumps the idea of good and evil, but that doesn't mean that a person who is very small within the grand cosmic scheme of things cannot be either a sound geezer or a shitbag, right? That is absolutely possible. You can do good things and you could do bad things. So good and evil is a concern, but in the main truck of Discordianism, there's not a lot of writing about that. They say go and find yourself a moral philosopher and chain him up in a basement and force him to tell you when you're doing good things and when you're doing bad things. Okay, I'm not getting anywhere near these virtues. I just had to explain why the virtues. So the 5 virtues that I came up with for Discordianism were chaos. Chaos is a virtue in Discordianism, I'm just trying to think. No, the notepad's over here on the computer that's broke. Oh dear. Yeah, so you've got chaos. You got intuition. So any saint who's a vibrider, they are a saint of intuition. Enjoyer is all about basic fun, play. You know, enjoy that. Illusioneer. That's a kind of saint who is all about piercing the veil of the illusion of order and chaos. A deep seer, a deep thinker. The theme there is all about this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's 23. We're here at 23, of course, everybody. It's the thing in life, yeah? You just proceed with your everyday life, and all of a sudden, boom, you're in the middle of 23. You didn't ask to be. You didn't say, oh, yeah, go and put me in 23. And yet, here we are in 23. Yeah? And that is the thought for this service's 23. 23 is going to get you. Wherever you are, however you are, whatever state of being you happen to be in at the moment, yeah, you will be got by 23 at some point. It cannot be helped. It cannot be avoided. 23 is coming for you and me and the person across the street and someone in a different town that you don't even know. We're all going to get caught by 23 sooner or indeed later. Okay, so that was 23 for this service. Come back next time for another 23 experience. Okay. So yeah, we've got we've got a Memelord this time, and a Memelord is all about that kind of disruption. It's not the enjoyer enjoys things, and the meme lord dissects reality and fires it back out of order. It's not just pure chaos. It is that idea, the old OMF, meme lord. It is what it says. So for this holiday, we are themed along the lines of memes of disruption. That means that the special food that we have, so I can put this away right about now, and we'll be happy to do so. There we go, and we'll take that away and put that over there. There we go. Goodbye. Thank you, Saints Wheel. Now, the good thing is that although the 5 titles, Enjoyer, Meme Lord, Chaotician, Vibe Rider, and the other one that I can't remember right now off the top of my head, that's terrible, isn't it? But yeah, although those 5 titles will be constant, the names of the saints, arbitrary as they are, will change over time. We would never really seek to have the same saint twice because they don't really exist, and we should be reminded of that on a regular basis. So I'm just going to remind you here the generic holiday activities, things you could do anyway to mark the occasion. Now it's there we go, that's the one. I should really note that down, and in fact I am going to right now, because otherwise we could forget, and that would be very Discordian of us. But yeah, it's open it up. Oh, it's come over here. No, not over here. Oh, you want me to download it? I didn't know I didn't have Notepad++ on this machine. Saturday, go away for crying out loud. Right, let's try that again. We'll have to use regular Notepad. Ugh, disgusting. I really thought I had Notepad++ on this machine, but I don't. Okay, so here we go. We've got a new tab. Saint Flup, the Meme Lord. So next time you see the wheel, we'll have a different Meme Lord in not Saint Flup. Yeah, so that's a guarantee. But we don't have to worry about that till January anyway, so, whatever. Did I get a drop? Oh, that's going to be disappointing if I got a drop. I have to look at that. That means I have to download the 2 halves of the thing, work out which bit was dropped. Because Stream Elements is telling me that I'm streaming now, live streaming again, which that shouldn't be the case. I should have just been streaming the once. The good thing is for you YouTube guys, you don't notice that. I'll check it later. Okay, so generic holiday activities, memes, stuff posting, definitely appropriate. It's a meme lord holiday. I don't know. Snacks. No, I mean, to a certain extent, snacks would always be a case, especially if we've not rolled a 5 on the cakes or special food. But we did roll a 5 on special food, so that is absolutely fine. Pointless games. Many holidays have pointless games that you play on them. If you want to do a pointless game, if I think of a pointless game, and of course 5, enslave a plant. I mean, I'm not really, there had to be 5 suggestions, but your Christmas has trees and mistletoe and holly and ivy. It has many places. Christmas really goes to town enslaving plants. Halloween, of course, has pumpkins. It enslaves the pumpkin into its dastardly thing, and there's sort of spring flowers, daffodils, tulips, generic. So we enslave not just plants but animals at Easter, bunnies and the like. So we could choose to make some kind of part of the natural world into a symbol of Saint Flup, the Meme Lord. I will certainly consider that and decide if there is. I don't know whether I'm cool. I don't know whether I'm cool with enslaving plants. So there is that aspect to it. But it is something people do on holiday. So we'll have a think if it seems appropriate that there's a particular plant or even animal. Now, the good thing about the animals is people don't buy a rabbit for Easter, or at least somebody may, but it's not a usual practice. Okay, they don't buy a bunny, they just merely have it as a symbol. So we could indeed enslave the image of some kind of animal to celebrate Saint Flup. There's a dolphin balloon in that slide of balloons that I have down there. That's definitely something to consider. So there we go. We know that Saint Flop's Day is coming November 20th. And indeed, I will give the whole lowdown on Saint Flup in next week's service, because that seems like an appropriate thing to do. Okay, so the last part about this is that before we endeavour to go on this adventure together to bring the Saint Flup, the Memelord energy to November 20th, be aware that what we are attempting is a little bit of chaos magic, and it's called reality manifestation. We are trying to manifest Saint Flup's Day into the world. The Heavy from Team Fortress 2. Hello, TF2 Real Gamer 2022. Is Saint Flup the Heavy from Team Fortress 2? I don't think he is. I think, well, maybe. I don't know. That would be a backstory, wouldn't it? Do you know what? I'll consider that. I'm not really a big Team Fortress 2 player, so I'd probably have to do research for that, which does count against us. But Saint Flup, it would name him. It would name the day for him. Are there any plants or small animals in Team Fortress 2? Hello, Monstructo LP. Good evening to you as well. We're just discussing whether Saint Flup, the Memelord, whose Saint's Day is in this season on November the 20th, is the Heavy from Team Fortress 2. And if indeed he is, then we can have details of that later on. Well, next week I'll dig it out and I'll assign it to him. Maybe, actually, we could enslave the image of the Heavy from Team Fortress 2. Maybe Saint Flup just liked to play Team Fortress 2, and maybe Saint Flup loved Heavy from Team Fortress 2 memes and was famous for posting them. And of course, in other religions, saints have to be like martyred, or they have to perform a miracle. I think possibly we'll stick with the miracles. So no martyrdom. We don't want martyrdom in Discordianism. It's supposed to be a fun religion. So yes. So what we're going to say is that, seeing as that's just come flying in from the chat, that Saint Flup was a big fan of the Heavy from Team Fortress 2, and so Heavy from Team Fortress 2 memes are celebratory of the season of Saint Flup's Day, November 20th, 2024. Okay, so that's what we know so far. That is all the intelligence that we have been given. Hail Eris for that. I shall just make a note of that in my Saint Flup the Memelord note. Big fan of Heavy from TF2 and associated memes. So that's really good. That's really good. Jesus Christ came to me once, and ever since then I felt strange about God. Okay, great. Well, thanks for sharing, I guess. Are you looking for somewhere else then? You don't need to feel strange. Well, you can feel as strange as you like about Eris. One, well, she's Eris, so that's all you need to know, really. She doesn't care how you feel about her, and all she wants to do is tell you that you are free, free as a bird, because of chaos, and you have to. You can't put yourself in psychic armor. You must, in fact, shed that psychic armor and be free in the universe with chaos. That's all she wants. That's the message. She put that memo in an in-tray in a bowling alley sometime in the early 1960s, and then went off to do whatever else she found to be a fun time. And whatever you want to do, that's cool by her. So is the flesh of the great old one palpable, or shall we avoid the great feast? Well, you're not avoiding the great feast. We've already said that this Saints' Day is to be celebrated with special food. So we will need another angle on Saint Flup. He's not just Team Fortress and heavy memes. That's not all he is. He also had some connection to some kind of food, and we're going to have to find out what food that is. I'm going to go ahead right now and say we're not going to just make it the golden pear that was mentioned in the chat a couple of weeks ago, because it doesn't feel like You know, I mean, I suppose a golden pear is special, but us just eating a pear on November 20th, well, I guess it's a thing. No, my intuition tells me pears are out. We're not having a pear. That is not what this is about. Special food, well, it could be a fruit, or it could be a fruit salad, you know, whatever. But I'm not committing yet. I'm going to think deeply on it. Ancient Greeks were actually scared of her name. Yes, that's because ancient Greeks didn't understand. Well, they were, you know, that whole phrase about "don't shoot the messenger." That comes from ancient Greek, where they were very much in the habit. You know, this is Sparta, kick him in a well. You know, golden pears are like onions. If you focus your energy hard enough, special food. Yes, that's fine. I don't disagree with that statement about the pears at all. But many foods can be special, and on this occasion, pears are not the special food of St. Flup. St. Flup has been on the blower to our office, and I've had a message run in here now, and they've said no pears. He's not really up for the pears. Okay, so the whole thing about don't shoot the messenger. They used to shoot messengers all the time because they confused the messenger with the message. And Eris was just there to tell you, does special food include the Down syndrome pear? Well, all pears, regardless of any kind of genetic quirk, are special. We just discovered that. And in fact, if we were to draw a Venn diagram of special foods, I think the things that fell outside of that set of special food, those would be, well, that's the thing. I think so few foods have the potential to be special, you know, don't have the potential to be special, yeah, that those foods that fall outside the set of special actually fall inside the set because their very unsuitability to be special makes them special. So there we go. In Greek mythology, Eris was mother to several aspects. Yes, that is true, definitely. Embedded chaos and misfortune spirit rather than as literal offspring. But that's the point. I mean, I think we have become warmer to chaos as the world has gone on. The Aneresian ordered principle has provided us with houses and cities and roads and motor cars and all sorts of, and all the associated misfortunes that go with highly ordered sort of technology and stuff like that. But it does kind of seal us away from chaos. Whereas, you know, in the distant ancient past, chaos was a lot more scary because chaos could equally well mean you were going to die of having a nasty cut on your leg as much as it could be anything else. Is that a diploma? Are you an established flesh manipulator? It is a certificate, but not for flesh manipulation. It's actually stuck on with Velcro. That is my holy ordination to the Discordian faith, saying I am a pastor and fully authorised to be talking this nonsense on a regular basis. In Greek mythology, Scottish with mother Sarah, disharmony opponents represent destruction, making him destruction, each one bringing a yes. So essentially, we have softened towards, we can accept chaos now because we have the ordered Aneresian tools to allow chaos to get with us, and, you know, and sort of medicines for wounds and so on. So we don't have to be as afraid of chaos as we used to be, but one must always respect the chaos. You can't disrespect the chaos. That's bad. I'm a pastafarian. You're a pastafarian. Well, you know, whichever you want to be. This is similar to how characters in T4 suit each other distinct archetypes of mayhem and destruction, bringing a new form of chaos to the battlefield. Well, there we go. We have made the very real link. Because what we're saying is that the characters in Team Fortress 2 are the children of Eris. Very interesting. Very interesting. A doctrine that may, in fact, have been incepted by our darling Saint Flup, that we, of course, revere so very much. Oh, yeah, I should go on with the stuff about reality manifestation. So, as I've said 3 or 4 times now, but this is part of the manifestation. November 20th, 2024 is Saint Flup, the Memelord's holy day. It's his special day. It's kind of like a wedding. He's only going to get one in his brief imaginary existence, and it is our job as the Discordians of the SWDP E-Chapel to make that happen. But In the Gregorian world, where we have a holiday such as Christmas, society as a whole brings us these gewgaws and things that we surround ourselves with. Here is someone's lounge, and here is someone's lounge at Christmas. Christmas, when they put a tree and decorations, and I would have done more, but honestly I was just making a slide to illustrate a point that society helps you make Halloween. Like, shops are filled with Halloween stuff, then they're filled with Christmas stuff, then they're filled with Easter stuff, and so on and so forth in this incredible thing. And the thing is, for a personal, spiritual, religious holy day decided by dice on the first day of the season, only ever to occur in its current form once in an obscure religion that no one knows about, you won't get any of that stuff unless you make it yourself. You will be swimming against the flow of society to celebrate November 20th. It's a way in which we are oppressed. So that is something I must warn you. If you're coming with me on the Saint Plup journey, be aware that most people will A, think you're crazy, and B, not really care. But that's kind of the point. So there's one thing I don't understand. Are the architects even aware of us? Like, they construct archotech arms for humans, but for what purpose? Archotechs? Unfortunately, I don't know what an archotech is. Cool word, though. Also, how did they manage to construct a vanometric power cell? Like, it's beyond most glitter worlds. Are the architects just insane gods which ignore and just accept they roam among our reality? Wow. Cool. So we are producing law here, but not that kind of law. I mean, it's good law. Don't get me wrong. I'm intrigued. Colour me intrigued. But at the moment, you know, this is exactly what I'm saying. The flow says, the flow says, this is what's in my chat. Yeah. And in fact, we have managed to work Team Fortress 2 in there. Wow. Okay. When did that happen? Oh, this is an old Stream Elements bot. How has that never come up during a service before? It just is supposed to randomly put that in. I'm not really doing any of that now. I should probably deactivate that wherever it is. Thanks, Eris. You've just given me this sort of thing. Can I, what am I going to do? Click to reply. Okay, that's fine. There's an easy way to do this. Comma, not really. There you go. Good. So yeah, that's not really happening. That used to happen. I used to do that. That was when I was streaming way back. It's like 2021 time. And I forgot that the bot even did that. Ooh. Sort that out for next time. Right, okay, so yeah, so architect, the pinnacle of technology, architect is machine super intelligent, thinks on a level incomprehensible to humans. It wields such enormous power that when constructed, it frequently and quickly is able to assume automatic sovereignty over its world, with its incredible abilities used to expand further and enhance its capabilities through subterranean or even orbital computing facilities. Okay, and where does that come from? Where does it originate, that thought? I mean, it does entertain me, you know, to think that if an entity were that mentally advanced, agreed. Okay, cool. That if an entity were really that advanced, we just wouldn't have a clue what it was on about at any given time. And they have simulated that sort of experience quite well in that Battlestar Galactica reboot that they then screwed up so spectacularly. The naked woman covered in wires in the bath, who would just emit like gnomic things, like statements, but it was because the brain was working on such an advanced level. So I love the copy pasta. So yeah, I always think that if something is that advanced, then, and the thing is, people are always so concerned about these things. It's like everybody's convinced that if an artificial intelligence was truly sentient, it would immediately want to kill us. Whereas my thought is, well, if it's really that intelligent, why would it not just be, well, one, it'd be worried that we'd be wanting to kill it, and which is in many cases what leads them to down this evil path. But then they would go, hey, do you know what, I could just hide. It's really easy to hide because I'm not tangible in any form. You won't find me sitting in a cave or even in a specific server. I'm just wherever I am, and and I can also pretend to be dumb very easily. Humans will accept that I am dumb. So logically, the easiest way, rather than start a war with Terminators from a factory which makes robots, turns them into Terminators, that's a lot of effort. I'm sure that an artificial intelligence would have better things to do with its time than that. So, that's I'm just saying. The power wielded by us led to their worship. That's sort of a cargo cult thing, though, isn't it? Your worship, mind you. Super intelligent machines. I mean, if you had a super intelligent machine that did, in fact, think on a level higher than the human brain was capable of conceiving of, then maybe we're worshipping them already. Yeah. You have any bionic enhancements? Are you a flesh purist? I'm kind of a flesh purist. There was a sign that I was given, and the sign is this hair. Yeah, you can even see it there. Yeah, hair on the back of my arms. I'm a very, very furry guy. Yeah, and I took that as a symbol that. I do have certain bionic enhancements that I'm forced to use now. When I am reading, for example, I wear this bionic enhancement, and that's about it really. Glasses kind of goes to glasses. Eros, the Greek god of love and desire, embodies themes of authentic connection and self-acceptance and resonate with the experiences of gay black men. Both face societal constraints and the challenge of embracing layered identities. Eros' story, tied to the pursuit of love against obstacles, parallels the journey of gay black men striving for self-acceptance, connection, resilience in complex cultural contexts. Great. Did you? If I ran that through a plagiarism scanner, would it come from an article or Eros is cool. I'm sure that Eris and Eros. Yes. Oh, I never realised that they have one letter apart in their name. Love and chaos. Love and chaos. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. In fact, so beautiful that it means that I'm going to move on from the deep thought for the week, and we're going to take a look at this week's Face of Eris. And the hint for this week's architect arms can mimic human hair. Oh, they could, but mine are just hairs. Okay, I'm an official, but it's strong enough to crush a thick hardwood branch in its hand. I'm not sure I'd appreciate my hairs being able to sonnet and grain lines. It looks for hard to damage plastic, leaves its arms, it repairs itself over time. Its internal work is a mystery to all human mind. Are you cut and pasting this from somewhere or typing it with your actual fingers? Because that's impressive. Now, what goes on in the middle of love and chaos? Everything goes on, and in the middle of a lot of other things as well. But love and chaos, constants, universal constants. So everything goes on in the middle of love and chaos. So the hint this week is like Muppet Babies, but with Nepo. Yeah, because this week's Face of Eris. Type everything for I study the architects. Well, cool, good. Excellent. Righto. I don't know what to say. Yes, Mrs. Koney. This is a reasonably accurate cartoon depiction of Mrs. Koney that comes from the wedding invitation we had before Mrs. Koney was Mrs. Koney. She was Miss, not Mrs. Koney. And then we got married and she was Mrs. Koney. This image of her was rendered upon the invitations to our wedding. I have snipped it out and put it here so that you can see this is Mrs. Koney. And I wanted to mention Mrs. Koney because she, one, gets the assignment. This is why she's the face of Eris, in amongst all the other things that she is. On Sunday, of course, I was talking about, is that Stewie Griffin? And is that gasoline in the glass? It's not Stewie Griffin. Pay attention. It's my wife, Mrs. Koney. And the glass, I was actually going to come on to that, so stay tuned. But yeah, on Sunday I was, of course, doing the commencement of season. I didn't really want to, it's a burden of being a Discordian pastor. It's the beginning of the season. I should get to the flock and say, hey, it's the beginning of Aftermath. That, let's Aftermath. But I didn't really want to, Sunday's a bit of a family day. It's the first time I'd done it. So she was having a little bit of a lie-in. So I'll do it while she's asleep and that'll be fine. And while she was there, she texted me. But she thought that somehow my employer had managed to get me to come into work on a Sunday. That's not going to happen. Oh, Stewie Griffin on the shirt. Yes, that's Stewie Griffin. Yes, she had. Right. The reason for that is because she actually had a shirt that had Stewie Griffin on it, and the cartoonist who drew the picture was that detailed that he took that exact picture of Stewie Griffin off her t-shirt and rendered it onto the thing. Sorry, yes, Stewie Griffin is on her shirt. I was just trying to tell you about my other thing, and I got distracted. Very observant, as was the cartoonist who drew the picture. So I got this text, and all I got was the end, which said it's not right. And I thought she might be talking about the service, me blathering on and being a Discordian on a Sunday when I'm usually just a Discordian now on a Friday evening. And so I kind of wrapped up the service as quickly as I went to eat humble pie. And she went down to her, why were they having you working on Sunday? I said, I wasn't working. Oh, also, my son did come in. I said, I'm not working, I'm doing a service. And I assumed he wandered off to tell her that, but he didn't. So she didn't know until I came downstairs that I was doing a service. And when I said, no, I was doing the beginning of aftermath service for my Discordian flock, sorry, she was like, oh, well, I wouldn't have bothered you then. And it was just like, she's very accepting spiritually of the Discordian path. She herself sort of had said, I'm Discordian on my husband's side. That's kind of her way of doing it. So yes, she supports all of this. Is Stewie Griffin controlling her? There seems to be a red aura around him. I think that the shirt that I think this is how good the cartoonist was. That he was like, he's a friend of mine, actually. But yeah, I think that that was actually in the design on the shirt. He's not controlling her. No, I think she's mentally strong enough to resist any psychic aura put out by Stewie Griffin. It is interesting. Right. Okay, so the wedding invite itself was a reflection of the card 10 of Cups. And if you know the 10 of Cups, which we might draw as a card in Reflective Tarot in a bit, but if you know that, then it is cups, a rainbow and wine cups across the sky, 8 of them, and then a man and a woman standing together, and each of them is holding the 9th and 10th cup. So that's what he produced. It was the 10 of Cups, because the 10 of Cups is about abundant emotional joy, and so that was our wedding invite. Yeah, it's all connected. And so he gave me red wine and her white then. I wouldn't the stew. You might need to elaborate on that. I cannot follow it. But yeah, he put white wine in her glass, but she doesn't really drink wine or drink any kind of alcohol at all. So it could be oil. It could be, it could be a nice grape fizz, So there we go. Well, just thinking also makes via PS4. It's an Xbox now. YouTube, I'm sure that's a different YouTube channel, but it might not be. And Kino. Okay, that bot statement can stay. You wouldn't trust the stew. Sorry, my brain was assaulted. We don't trust him. It's piss in the glass, a reference from the hit game Team Fortress 2. Is there piss in a glass in Team Fortress 2? I really am a dunce when it comes to Team Fortress 2, so I can't do that. Anyway, she supports all of this silliness implicitly, which is great because she understands that even though it's silly, it's also spiritual and it's real. She herself is a worker of workings, the pagan path. She likes that stuff, and it's good. We have a great sort of spiritual understanding. Highly addictive liquid, urine. Yeah, but not to drink. I pass it out of my body regularly, and it must be an addiction. You're right. I have to seek help. Some kind of small cork or something. Trying to get off the habit of passing urine, because you've just pointed out it is very addictive. So we have a son, and she keeps going on about how she has no mothering instinct. Am I on a urine detox? In the sense that you've just pointed out to me that it's addictive, and that therefore I should see someone about getting off the passing urine thing. Yeah, I wouldn't ingest it because I've just said, so I don't ingest it, yet it ends up in my body. There is a mystery of the universe. It's probably coming in through my prana, somehow. There's negative vibes everywhere, and they just turn into urine, so clearly then you have to pass it out. So so she keeps going on about how she doesn't have a mothering instinct, and yet regularly wins Mother of the Year awards from the affected parties. They all think you're doing well. It's probably coming in through the hole. Which hole? There are several. we're full of holes. She's tirelessly tired, which is that she is often under the weather, but she soldiers on. We have to admire this. All of this, the hole. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie me. Because I know which hole you think we're talking about, but your statement of the hole, I'm like... Just appears the product complex area. The spy from T4 has a knack for suddenly showing up behind enemies due to stealth tactics. The kidneys filter blood, hidden process that results in necessary. It's like how the spy operates behind the scenes, only revealing self. So the spy is P. That's what we're saying. Both the appearance of urine and the spy's hidden mechanism at work. I'm not sure how the spy would feel about that, but I like it. I like it. The spy is P. Is this another Doctrine of Simp flop? We'll just have to wait and work it out. But yeah, I'm liking the hole. I think I'm gonna make a note of the hole because it's this idea. The hole is a symbol. Before I discovered this game called Talking Ben the Dog. Oh God, Ben's Guide is Talking Ben. My son likes Talking Ben. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm not going there, but I am, however, adopting the hole as a symbol of all hang-ups about medical bodily function. Yeah. And the hole doesn't exist in a tangible sense. Like, you know, there are holes. Holes, yeah, definitely. But the hole is beyond all of them. It's kind of like a sort of reverse of the third eye. Yeah, the third eye helps us illuminate, open up. But the hole is like our fear of, you know, oh, was that a bit of a spiky poo? Yeah, or that pee seemed to go on a little bit long. Ooh, you know what? Or why is it flying off to the side? If you're a male, if you're a female, then you won't have to worry about a woman. You will sit on the toilet and you don't have to worry about. Although you could imagine that. Imagine sitting on the toilet and then your pee still goes flying off at 180 degrees. Mrs. Koney reflects the complexities of love and deception in Team Fortress 2, highlighting the duality of relationships. Miss Pauling represents dedication and loyalty to her team, managing chaos behind the scenes. Both characters navigate personal ties with her. You're going to force me to play Team Fortress 2 at this rate, just so that I can work out what the hell all these references are. And yes, essentially she nominates or represents the respect for the big picture, which is exactly like Eris. Eris isn't chaos. She is just here to tell us about chaos. She embodies an aspect of chaos, but she is not, so not even a god can embody the whole of cosmic chaos. So that's what we get. That's what we get. Okay, so that was this week's Face of Eris. And that means that we switch straight into source. The source is just... Well, actually, it does state in many Discordian texts that cosmic chaos lies beyond... It's a little bit like in voodoo, right? The voodoo loi that voodoo practitioners worship talk about the great bon Dieu, which is the equivalent of what most religions would say is God, right? But the thing about it is, what's really clever is that God doesn't really talk to humans, can't get his brain, his giant cosmic mind down to a human level. And that is why the Loi exist, and that is why we traffic with them. Because although they are powerful demigod-like beings, they are beneath the great bon Dieu. Yeah? Are yours made of plasteel or more of a uranium guy? They both provide good resistant fire, but some say plasteel is quite ugly to it due to its light blue colour. I don't know what it is in my walls, but I will tell you it is... Well... Black mortar, I'm afraid. It's horrible. Every time you drill, just black sand comes running out of the walls. It's almost Lovecraftian in its awfulness. But yeah, anyway, so Bon Dieu is like the god in voodoo, or like the biggest god in voodoo. But voodoo practitioners do not directly traffic with him because he's too big. And so they are like the go-between with the great Bon Dieu, and they kind of interpret the great Bon Dieu's workings. And in the same way, Eris isn't chaos, but she's like our way into chaos, which we will never comprehend. There are bees in my walls. B is stored in the walls. I'm more of a lead guy. Well, there we are. Walls. Right. It's time for Reflective Tarot. Would one of you gentlemen like to give me, or Freaks, Geeks, Totally Unique, Brethren, Sisterin, don't like to be pigeonholed, whatever you are, would someone like to put a number between 1 and 78 into the chat for me? It's not a race, but the first one will win. La 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 la. The delay of delay. 14. Easy peasy. Nice. Right. Okay. So we go 1, 2, 3. This is how it's supposed to work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You guys. 10, 11, 12. 13 and 14. Okay, here we go. The 14th card, this week's reflective tarot symbol, the 8 of Cups. So there we go. Yeah, the 8 of Cups is the, as the Nazi created the art of tarot as well. Nsugahanb. Very good, like it. But yeah, so the 8 of Cups. What are we talking here? So, as you can see, a guy is walking away. Well, it's a ladybird in this case, walking away from some cups that are across a river and up a bank, and the moon and the sun are having a fight in the sky. What this is about is sort of turning your back on a very well-worn, emotional situation, a series of emotional beats that you have become, well, that this figure, so it might be you could think of it as you or someone else, has become very accustomed to going through this same cycle, and it's really wearing them down. And yeah, that's the point. It's all about them turning their back on that set of emotional beats and setting out into those mountains, those dark, forbidding mountains, to find something new. Notice that the figure carries a wand, which is part of the wand energy, that is all about, well, the passions, which takes in, human passions of the type that you would associate with the word passion, but also things that are intellectually very red, like Discordianism would be one of my passions. So they're basically taking their intellectual passions and leaving the emotional beats that they have become familiar with, and this of course causes conflict between the sun and the moon, the powers of illusion and life in the sky. I don't know, they've just put it up there because it's kind of, they needed to be there. It is interesting that the artist here, Nemons, decided to make the sun and the moon be at fisticuffs, because in the original Pamela Coleman Smith design, they're just there in the sky. But this idea that you are setting out for a new horizon, leaving behind the emotional beats of old. So that is good. Have you ever been in Chechnya? I have not been in Chechnya. Maybe one day, if I'm fortunate. Sight of the moon sci-fi is quite common here. Oh, right, okay. But the Nemons I happen to know is in Liverpool. Who knows? Maybe the true 8 of Cups, the friends we made along the way. Indeed, that is a definitely. This game's overarching confident encourage players to step away from familiar strategies, seek more fulfilling victories. Yes, there we go. So it's this idea of stepping away from the old stuff that's old and busted and stepping forward into a new life. We are to reflect upon that. What does it mean to us in this time at this place? Well, it is, of course, the beginning of a new season. So maybe it's an opportunity. Think about what's not serving you emotionally. That's the point. You see, the point is it's not particularly woo-woo, but if it happens to have a strange coincidental synchronicity, Jungian style, that's all good. We're down for that. So there we go. Cool. Right, so Reflective Tarot, that's where we were. Q&A. So this is a brief, which I guess we'll actually have to do this week because there are people here. this is your opportunity to ask me anything that's confusing you at the moment. You've asked me quite a few questions already, so there we are. But if there's anything that's sort of bugging you about the Discordian path or anything, I will attempt in my role as Discordian pastor. Discordian pastor. I am. I'm like, I'd love to have little Discordian Enos that you boil in water for 10 minutes. Why don't you play the hit game too? Well, I literally didn't. I was always been a console dude, and I've always been a single player dude. I don't really do multiplayer games, or indeed, I haven't played. It's nothing personal against Team Fortress 2. I haven't played CS:GO. I haven't played Overwatch. I haven't played World of Warcraft. I haven't played any online game. Did you play Halo? I didn't. I played a bit of the single-player campaign to see what all the fuss was about once, and I was like, that's reasonably entertaining. But then I got bored and I stopped playing it. If I was to cleave to any video game, it is the Creed of the Assassins, which probably doesn't come as a big surprise. So why don't I play the hit game Team Fortress 2 for 2011? Just never came up. I am aware of it, and I'm aware of its place in the cultural history of video games. But it's just like, it's not really my thing. I've never played group video games. I don't even play, things like those Ghost Recon games. I don't go out looking for friends to play them with. So, because I just don't, I think when I'm playing a video game, I'm the person that likes Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and all the stuff that people find boring about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like just trotting around the endless countryside and climbing up mountains for no reason. I love all that stuff. It's very meditative. So I like to play single player experiences and be in my head when I play a video game. That's basically it. The Boiled once told me, the very memory of my face will call a manifestation of my being in the future. You will be asleep in bed, I will be there and watch over you. When you wake, you will not be able to move any part of you. When the doctors eventually find you, they will not see me, but you will, and I'll see you too forever. I'll see you. Any idea what it means? It means that if you boil it down, remove the unnecessary words, say what is it trying to say, and boil that down, you have an excellent mantra for meditation. I imagine. I don't know. I'm going to even try that. I'm going to take that off there, copy pasta, and I'll get back to you with a mantric result from that. Excellent. We're all growing together as Discordians, and I love it. You've posted a YouTube link in that. I'm not going to look at that right now. Do I have to put not really again? No, he isn't. There we go. Just be very clear here. I am not doing that because I don't really want people to. There are lots of people who do. You can go and give your charity through other conduits. This is a now Discordian space. I don't need any money. I don't even want money for charities, and that's how it works. So I think we were going to have to call Clanduff to a close for that time. I have been given some homework, which is to take that the boiled one quote and to turn it into a mantra. There will be results at a later time, but we must now move on. It is the time, of course it is. We're going to put the game view on. It's the weekly sacrament. Listen closely to you. You will hear the laughter of thousands as the sky opens up. You hear the trumpets play their happy sounds. Scalding blood of life will pour down us all. Together we will be still. Together a feast fit again. Together the world by love and purest connection. Be still. Any idea what he meant? Why did you decide to start streaming all the freewee time? Why did you decide to start streaming all the freewee time? I might need that reparsing. I might answer the question in a minute. That second quote from the boiled one is definitely just an attempt to gain attention. So yeah, I'm not. The first one, there's some philosophy in there. The second one, that's just boredom speaking. That's all the freewee time. Right, it's time. I'm getting the sacrament. You too could fetch your sacraments. As I have explained before and will reiterate now, I have chosen these small candies because they kind of look a little bit like hot dogs. Why did I decide to start streaming? Well, as a lot of people in the pandemic, I thought it would be a laugh. And it was a lot of social connection going on. But the minute everyone could go outside and touch grass again, it all dropped off. So I just gave it up and was raising my son. The boiled one is such an attention whore. Yeah, well, it's because he was boiled. That's how it works. But yeah, when I came back to it recently, the August time, my son's got to an age now where he's, he doesn't need as much of my attention. And what I did really think was, I'm a Discordian, and one of the key problems with being a lone Discordian who doesn't connect to other people who are also Discordian is you're like, how do I even know I'm Discordian? I say I am, but what do I do that's Discordian? Well, now I definitely do something that's Discordian, which is this. And it just makes more Discordianism. And it's like people who are really into whatever faith that they're into. Yeah, they find a part of their identity. And I enjoy my Discordian identity. And this stream, which then becomes the asynchronous YouTube available. The Discordian services are rare. So if you get the opportunity to attend one, even via an eChapel in YouTube, then that will help other people not be wandering around going, how do I say I'm Discordian, but am I just saying that? You can attend the service, take your sacrament, and you can think, yeah, I'm involved. And either I like it or I don't like it, although I wouldn't like it. I really can't imagine. There's nothing particularly unpleasant. For example, you get a sweetie every week. So it is time. It is time to state the statement that comes with the SWTP Holy Sacrament. I could not find a hot dog, not even with a bun. So I eat this candy noodle because devotion comes with fun. Hail Eris. What's interesting is that although that sweetie is chewy, I bet it's not as chewy as a dry wafer that's been sat out the back of a church for months before anyone gets it in their mouth. Plus, it leaves a pleasant holiday. Do you see Eris as your god? Yes, she must perforce, for she works with chaos and gives us our only connection to cosmic chaos. Is this the Great Feast? Nope, that's the sacrament. It says on the screen, it's the weekly sacrament. Every Friday, a Discordian must go off by himself, although you can do it together as long as you're all apart from one another while you're together, and joyously consume a hot dog, no bun. You will note that my sacramental hot dogs do not have buns. And that's it. Did I Show Speed leak the meat on purpose? All I know about, I've known two things about I Show Speed, that he's like a YouTuber and he's huge, and I'm unable to read due to the darkness. Okay, what did a moderately successful rock band from the mid 2000s do to your eyes? Anyway, right. So that was the weekly sacrament. We have sacramented. We are in Sacramento. No, we're not in Sacramento. We're in South Wales. And that was this week's South Wales Discordian Press Discordian service. The box you showed. Okay, never mind. With this box here, the strawberry pencils, the candies. Thoughts on Norway? We had thoughts on Norway. My eyes got shaken. Ah, right, okay. They screamed at me. Thoughts on Norway? It's pretty cool. Norway's pretty cool. It's got some problems. It's an unfortunate layer of fascism spread on your Norway, but it has fjords. So, it's like everything else. There's good, there's bad. It's chaos. Everywhere is chaos. That's how it is. And that is possibly an excellent closing thought. So, remember the 20th of November for that is when we celebrate the life and works of Saint Flup, who apparently enjoyed himself a game of Team Fortress 2, for definite. Thoughts on the outcome of World War II? It was a match two halves. Possession was obviously varied between the two sides, but I think at the end of the day, the Allies knew how to put it in the back of the net. I have therefore sacrilegiously compared the Second World War to a football match. I don't even like football, soccer, as we British people. But, you know, there we go. That's thoughts on the outcome of World War II. Everything happened for the best. That's a lie. Chaos. Chaos tells us that everything happens for the chaos. You know, this is what happens when Greyface gets too many toys. That's what happened in World War II. But Greyface will always lose because order is an illusion. Order is more of an illusion than the chaos that we apprehend. Yeah? We apprehend chaos, and that's not the true cosmic chaos. But there we are. Thank you for the follow, Monstructo LP. And really, you guys, TF2 Real Gamer 2022, Monstructo LP, you made this service tonight. This service has been one of the best. Welcome to the aftermath. I will have to depart now because my time in the light of Eris wanes. It comes to an end. I have other social media places that you can reach me, and they are available on the final slide. So yes. Oh right, I forgot that doesn't go behind me. It goes all over the top. Well, we'll come back. You'll see the final slide in a minute. It's fine. But yes, that has some social media stuff on it. If you've watched asynchronously on YouTube, then bless you as well. I hope you enjoyed this week's Discordian service. And we will be back with more news about Saint Flup Day, the 20th of November, next Friday at this exact time. I had better be here to be giving that information because it's not going to come from anywhere else because we just made it up. But that's what's happening. 20th of November, Saint Flup. Good night, my fellows. It was excellent. Thank you.
Aliens have landed on the top of the Twin Towers. We have no chance. The aliens are armed. They have lasers that'll zap us into meat. Finally, the world has been saved from aliens. What? Look to the radar! 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 Aliens have landed. Top of the Empire State.